People in my town used to say the night bus only stopped for adults until the evening. It stopped for me. The driver looked confused when I climbed on, holding a folder of paperwork, and asked where my parent was. I said, I'm going to the courthouse. He laughed until he saw my face. The clerk inside asked who I was there for, and I said my family. She asked where my parents were, and I said, working. She asked how old I was. I said 16. She asked who told you to come here, and I said no. Someone had to. She flipped through the file and asked how I knew the case number. I said I memorized it. She asked who filled out the forms. I said I did. Who requested the extensions? I did. Who called the landlord? I did. Who talked to the utility company? I did. She asked, how long have you been handling this? And I said since my dad left and my mom started disappearing for days. She asked, who watches your sister? When your mom doesn't come home, I said, I do. Who makes sure she eats? I do. Who walks her to school? I do. Who sits with her when she cries at night? I do. She asked, when was the last time an adult took care of you? And the question hit me harder than anything else. Because the answer was never. She said, you shouldn't know how eviction works at your age. And I said, someone has to know. She said, you shouldn't be here alone. And I said, she needs a roof. She said, what happens if you stop? And I said, everything falls apart. She stood up and said, I'm calling someone. And I panicked and said, please don't. My sister won't sleep without me. She said she shouldn't need you like this. And I said, I know, but she does. The bus driver was waiting when I left and said, where to now, kid? And I said, home. Someone has to make dinner.